Welcome, everyone. You may Dominic in here. I am joined by Miss Selena Turner. How are you doing?
Okay, how you doing today?
Wonderful, wonderful. You are the author of the book. This is the real deal, and I definitely want to talk with you about it and about your experiences and all that you've been through. It was a very exciting read. It had so many it was like a roller coaster. It was like a roller
Yeah.
coaster. And I read a lot of books. And one thing about your book, it had me uh making noises like audible, like, oh my God, I can't believe that. What? I can't believe that happened. Like different things like that. And I don't react like that often when I'm reading.
Okay.
Uh you have had such an interesting life. And I don't want to give away all the details of the book, but you grew up fast.
I grew up
And
fast.
you're talking about things in the beginning of your life, and then at different points in times you're reminding the reader how old you were. And I'm like, she's seeing and doing so much so young. Did you really take time to realize that you were in these adult situations at such a young age?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. It was a real early age, and I was a hyper child, but I had a lot of secrets going on, a lot
Yeah.
of problems, and not really, yes, in the household, but visiting. And when I visit someone, I don't want to say who, I was just say in the church.
Yes.
That's when it really got bad.
Yes, yes, and that was one of the things that you had to deal with that really hurt my heart. And so you grew up in Michigan, the Detroit area.
Detroit, Michigan, on the west side.
Yeah,
And
and so my father obviously is from Detroit, and so what another thing that was very interesting about this read was, you were saying names that I've heard my father, people that I've heard my father speak about and talk about, and obviously friends of my father, and my father is even, you mentioned him uh, in it. So it is having, when you hold things in, and I talk to a lot of people about this. When you hold things in, it has an effect on you, and this is as an adult, you know what I mean. But you had to hold so many secrets, so many things that were well beyond your years, and you just continue to do that. Have you been able to get better with releasing things, or do you still find yourself holding it in?
today, I'm over it all. And it might have been like a year, 1 year, that
Mhm.
I just said, it's over. I have to live. And I'm at the age 58 years old. But I go back on the secrets that I found out. If you read the book, you'll find out a lot of secrets was in the book. And the secrets made me feel like something was wrong with me. I was a beautiful little girl, but I had all these secrets. And so what I did with my secrets, I seen my father and my mother and father had broke up, but when I go to his house, it was more secrets. And his secrets was more in the streets. So I took all the secrets and the hurt and from being molested also, I'm not going to say by who, and everything that I had, and I wanted to be just like my father, the street life, the furs, just to get this hurt off of me. I thought if I went that way, the fast route, that it'd disappear. And once I got in this lifestyle, I started liking it. But as a child, I didn't like what I seen, but I became everything that this man was, my father.
Yes, and daughters, and I think sons too, are really drawn to their fathers, and they want the love and attention, and just to be able to spend time with their fathers. Like that is something that I think is across the board, and that was something that you desired and you enjoyed being around him.
Yeah,
And do you think that if your dad was someone who was not in the streets or not involved in street life, do you think that that would have taken you another path and maybe made you want to date guys that weren't in the streets?
correct. I would never date a guys that was in the street. Not, my father went to prison. I can't say, I'm gonna say
Yeah,
something on here
yeah,
because
yeah,
somebody needs to hear me. And
absolutely.
I became everything this man was. I went through this. And even being molested, not by my father,
Right.
but by this man, I picked out men that looked just like the man that I was molested by. And the older I get and look back, it's sad, but it's the truth.
Yeah.
And when girls get molested at a young age, I really believe this. They're very sexual. I thought if you please a man and a man, you don't have to talk, just give him what he wanted. That was it.
Yeah. And the thing that really stuck out with me early in the book is that you were molested by someone who was important to the community, somebody that was supposed to be respected, supposed to be a protector, but turned out to be something else.
That's right.
Um, and so because you had so many other secrets and things that you were holding on, you felt that you couldn't. What prevented you from telling somebody? I mean, you could have told your father, or you could have told a lot of people, and they maybe would have put some hands on this person. Like
That's
what?
right. And that's a good question because
Yeah.
this is what I want to say it because there's a lot of girls come out later. Well, number one, I started off learning to keep things a secret. When I go in my father's house and see things, don't go back and tell your mother.
He said, "Whatever happens here, stay. Got to
That's
stay here."
right. So
Right.
I started from learning from him. And then the other man the man that molested me, he told me if I tell that something that happened to the family. So I didn't tell. I was a young girl. I was a kid. I was 5 or 6 years old.
And he pretty much threatened to kill everybody. He was gonna
That's
take everybody
correct.
out.
I
So
don't
that
know
that,
if I
that was a
said all
lot.
that in the book, but this is the truth. And girls that been molested young, I guess you be starting to look for this. I mean, it's sad to say, but I'm just keeping it real. You
Yeah.
start looking for this.
Definitely. And so one thing I'd never heard this expression before, but you were referencing like some stores, and like a store would be called the party shop or something like
Mhm.
that. So explain to me. I grew up in Baltimore. I've spent some time in Detroit, not a lot, and obviously when I was there, it was different than how it was in the '70s. But what's a party shop?
A party shop.
Mhm.
Which one are you talking about? You talking which one? You talking about the party store or the
Yeah,
barber
the party
shop?
store. Like you said sometimes the people would hang out in front of the
Right.
store.
A party store is just like today. It's a liquor store. But back in the
Oh,
day, people used to hang out, sing in front. They
okay.
get high, they stand out, beg for money. But it used to be a lot of people out there. And you
Got you.
might see players, guys that had it going on. They just standing out in front of the store posing because they probably was out there making some kind of deals or meeting somebody.
And one thing I was able to really gather the difference between like the environment then and now. People were really concerned with dressing nice, looking nice, dressed up. Like describe that a little bit.
Okay, this is what I'm saying. Back then, when the furs, it was just different. Prostitutes used to be on the corners, but they were different. They weren't crackheads. That's what I'm gonna
Mhm.
say.
Yeah.
These women, some of these women wasn't even on drugs, selling their bodies, and they had the pimps with the Cadillacs picking up in the shop cars and everything. The women was dressed, beautiful women. but they was out there selling their body. And
Right.
that's a big difference today. And we was very influenced by the dressing, the furs, the sable coats, the cars, and it's still going on today. It's
Yeah,
still
and
going
this
on today.
you had design, you were getting gifts, designer gifts
Oh,
and
baby, I
belts
was
and
getting gifts.
all kind of stuff.
I was a beautiful girl. I was young. I don't like long hair. I had my. I mean, I was a
You
beautiful
look like
girl in the
Foxy
mirror.
Brown. You look like Foxy Brown, original Foxy Brown, Pam
Right.
Grier. You look like
Right.
Pam Grier, yeah.
Yeah.
And so it is really, really good. The real deal, and this is the real deal. And so there's so many pictures inside that really capture the time, and you can see, it was just like a whole different energy. But you still got that same smile.
Yes, I
Yeah.
do. Yes, I do.
Um,
And I wanted to say, I don't know how much time we have, but
sure, we got
not only was I got caught up in the drug game, you have to know I was in the number game also. So I done lived both lives, seen all this. I done did it all.
you definitely have done it
I
all.
did it
And
all. I mean, it's not good to say. I look at my book and I just sometimes have to say when I read the book, I'm talking about somebody else.
yeah, and I'm sure that some people did anybody have any problems with you being so real and calling out some of the things you were called out? You talking about some street folks, and how did they feel about that? Or did
Well,
you know?
okay. My husband he's not here. I did
Right.
ask his family. The other man, he's not here. I haven't talked to them about it.
Mhm.
And the rest of the people, they knew they would be in the book.
Yeah,
It's okay.
yeah, yeah. So what motivated you to tell your story?
Well, I'm looking out and I like to give festivals outside and I like to deal with the homeless outside. So I knew they stories and people look down at everybody, don't know what a person went through. So
Right.
that's what inspired me to write
Yeah,
my
yeah, and
story.
it's good that that you're telling the story.
Mhm.
And what do you want folks to take away from reading this book?
Well, I want you to look at I was a young girl and you know, I was into the money. I wasn't just into the drug life and making little money. We talking about millions, millions of dollars that I got caught in. And I love this lifestyle. But what comes with this lifestyle, being naive, once you read my book, you can understand that I was hurting so bad. A lot of hurt, and I was holding it inside. And the clothes, the money, selling drugs. Not only if he was selling drugs, I would go out there and get the connects for him sometimes. But he was dealing with other people too. And then I went to the number gang. I started learning the 3 and 4 digit number. But what I want people to know is everybody wanted to be Selena and wanted to be Walt. Everybody wanted to be Selena and wanted to be Sterling because I had the look. I dressed when I come in the door. I had the body slim, beautiful, and I was going through hell. So I didn't fool anybody. I fooled myself. So what I want a person to get out of this is you got to stop looking at material things because it was abuse in this relationships.
It was physical abuse too. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yes. And he was a cheater and I was a cheater. Now, at first I wasn't, but I
You're
was
right.
back then like, what you do to me, payback.
Yeah,
And that's a lot of young people think like that. But all this payback got me locked up in prison, and that's going down the line to get bigger and bigger the things I was doing. But what
yeah.
you get out of this book is the fast life and the street life is not what you think it is. It's death, I used cocaine. Now I was a functional cocaine head. A lot of people didn't even know it.
Well, he introduced you to that,
That's right.
and you were doing, like you said, what you saw your husband doing.
That's right. And I use it and have sex with guys. And then, I mean, everybody wanted this life. And I used to call it sometimes, because we had good time. But I actually sometimes, because there was so many women at the door, they wanted my man. They fighting over my man. And I'm the wife. So I would call it the hell house. And I would tell people, stop looking at the outside because you don't know what's going on in the inside.
And then the thing about it is that with Black Walt, the age difference was so much that these were grown women, and you were a lot younger than them.
Yes, at the time he was 14 years older than me.
Right.
So today, a lot of people dating women 20 some years, but I was only 18 years old. Actually, after I got married in high school, I went back to high school with
Yeah.
big diamonds, a 4 carat diamond ring,
In
and
your
the
own
school
car.
was, yeah, it was
Yeah.
about 3.5 to 4. It was something like that. But I was coming with jacks, and I still got that little.
I'm sure not only did you have to deal with the students just hating, but I'm sure you probably had to deal with teachers hating on you too with all that
Yeah,
kind
there
of
was
nice
a
stuff.
couple of teachers hating on me. It was it was sad, but and the lifestyle, I met all kind. I mean, you go out there and you meet celebrities, and it'll be a second book. But while we was in this street life, we actually had a legal underwear business.
Right. 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 So that is really good. And this is the real deal, Miss Selena Turner. So you
This is a real deal.
folks can get the book now. How can they get their copy of This Is the Real Deal?
Okay, this how you get the copy, because I'm having a problem on Amazon, but you can still get the book. You
Okay.
go to Amazon, but you have to look up This Is the Real Deal by Selena Turner, all books filter.
Okay.
And then
Okay.
I'll be having a website.
Yeah. And
I
I'll
don't have
put
it
the link
yet.
below in this video. They can also click the link below in the video.
Okay.
So I really enjoyed the read, and I was really pleasantly surprised with the level of transparency that you gave. You really gave the readers a view and an honest view of your life, and you talked about things that a lot of folks not comfortable talking about. But you said you had some questions about yourself, like you were talking about your own insecurities, due to some family secrets, and but you you are smart, you were smart, and you were second guessing yourself, like maybe something's wrong with me because of different family things, but clearly you proved that you were good with math, you were good with numbers,
Mhm.
you were able to run businesses and handle money and all
Yes,
of that. So what you were second guessing about yourself wasn't true. You were very smart. You're very
you're
smart.
right. And I didn't learn that until a late age. And that's when I really went to prison.
Because then you you
It's
really started
sad. I
to
got to know Selena.
did some of the bad things that happened. Is there any positive? Like, say, talk about prison. Was there anything positive that came from that experience?
Yes, it did. I'm glad I went to prison. Now, what a lot of people don't know, and I haven't got to part two, I didn't change when I came back from prison, just a little bit.
Hmm.
So, prison, but it was coming, but when you go to prison, sometimes you don't change all the way.
Right. Right.
You don't change all the way because you're accustomed to a certain kind of lifestyle, but end up I changed.
Right. Right. And so um you know you
Yeah.
lost a child, and but you have a family now, and
Wait a minute. You said I lost a child?
Well, you 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 miscarried.
Oh, yes, I
Right.
did.
You miscarried. And did you ever and this when you were, with right before you got married and that happened. But it's like I said, I don't want to give them too much. I want them to read the book.
Okay.
But did you ever feel at one point that maybe you didn't want to have a family, or maybe kids weren't in your future? Did you ever doubt that you were going to get
I
that blessing?
always wanted kids, but really, to tell the truth, I'm keeping it real. It was a lot of mental illness going on with me.
Hmm.
And I never reached out for help. I was, like I said, going around pretending, but I wasn't really. I could say I was a decent parent, but I wasn't what I should have been,
Right. And what
because
are
I
things?
was young and I just had a lot of problems going on. Deep down inside, I really hated myself. But nobody, they thought I had this proud thing about me. Because when I stepped in the room, and I'm shy, I was safe. But it wasn't like that.
Even with all of the guys chasing behind you
That
and
don't
women
that
wanting to be your friend, you still didn't feel right within yourself.
that don't do it. It's within. The
That's
money don't do it. That's what I thought. That's what I'm saying. I was a young girl. I thought this would cover it up. It don't do it. It have to be
absolutely.
within.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Has to be from within. You're absolutely right. Well, like I said, I enjoyed the book. It is This Is the Real Deal. Author is Selena Turner, and they can click the link below to get more information on how to get this book. Um, and I really appreciate you taking some time to talk with me. And so you're saying that there's going to be potentially a part two.
Oh yeah, this book is something else now. It
Yeah.
get Yeah. I'm gonna hold it up right quick. Hold on
Okay.
a second. I should have had this. It's in the book, but it's in part, it's in the book, my case, with the numbers. I've
Hmm.
been in all newspapers,
Oh, wow.
what can you see it?
Yep, I can see it.
Okay, it look like, yeah. That's where I used to stay at. And you see what it say, cops and kids. So in the book, there's a lot going on.
Yeah, yeah, that's the real deal for sure.
This is the real deal. I mean, it's different. It's not just talking about the drug life. It's not. It's talking about numbers. I'm gonna say it. We're talking about the Detroit police that I got in trouble with on a robbery case. I will say that, but they'll have to read more about it.
Yeah, yeah. So I look forward. I look forward to that. Um, Detroit. Do you love Detroit?
I love Detroit. It's good and bad, but since I changed my life, I don't see the bad, but it's out there. But I love Detroit.
Yeah,
I love
yeah.
Detroit.
And so, like so many places, if you're looking for the good, you can find that.
That's
If you're
right.
looking for the bad, you can find that too. It's
That's
all
right.
out there. It's a matter of what you choose to surround yourself with. All right. So again, I want folks to get this book. It is called "This Is the Real Deal." The author is Selena Turner from Detroit, Michigan. Thank you so much. Anything you want to say before we get out of here today?
I want to tell you thank you so much. And if they read this book, they're gonna get a lot out of it. If someone going through something, they're gonna get a lot out of it. Like you said, it's so much that you could get out this book and come overcome all these things that I did it. I did it.
You did it,
And I'm
and
so
you're
proud.
still here.
I'm so proud. And
Yes,
you can too. Anyone can change their life.
absolutely. Thank you so much. And you have a wonderful rest of your day.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
This is the real deal.
This is the real deal.
All right.
That, of course, Miss Selena Turner. You can get her book, and it is This Is the Real Deal. It's your man Diamond Cage. Sunday special, of course. For any information on the show, at the Diamond Cage Show on all social media, or visit onfire-tv.com. I will be back next Sunday with another edition of the Sunday special here at onfire-tv.com.